What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is chishazed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
No more wasting time. Let's get it.
30% of the males who get DNA tested annually, according to the American Association of Blood Banks, which is the accrediting body for the DNA labs. This is over 44 DNA labs throughout the United States. They are testing close to 500,000 men per year, and over 30% of them have been confirmed that he didn't do it. 0.0% paternity.
All right, y'all. Have to do this video. Damn, I'm already getting emotional. I didn't even.
Thank you for joining us today and sharing this secret with us.
Hey, I'm very nervous, sorry.
No, that's...
Yeah, so I do have a baby with another man, and my husband does not know. We've been together over 7 years.
Now, a man who discovered after being diagnosed with the life-limiting illness cystic fibrosis that he couldn't be the father of his 3 sons because the condition causes lifelong infertility. Doctors revealed in 2016 that Richard Mason couldn't be the dad to the children, who are now 19 and 23. Well, we spoke to Richard and his current partner, Emma.
When the discussion then turned to fertility, and he said, look, yourself and Emma, you're going to have difficulty having children because you are, as a man with cystic fibrosis, infertile. It was suddenly like being hit by a sledgehammer. I just went, oh my God. You suddenly realise that your children aren't yours. So I said, well,
immediately you knew the significance of what he just said to you?
Yeah.
yes.
Should paternity tests be mandatory at birth?
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life. You could be in a hospital saving a life.
My alleged daughter, her mom's ex-boyfriend, London's mom's ex-boyfriend, friend had DM me, right? I know a lot of people get mixed up. They think the ex-boyfriend actually DM me. He did not DM me. Basically told me like that he's not friends with this person anymore. So I clicked on it, seen these pictures, these side-to-side pictures, right? They put London's face and they put this ex-boyfriend's face side to side. And for some reason, to me, it just looked too on point.
He had a reversal because he had a vasectomy from his previous ex. So he had a reversal so we could try and have a baby. And so, long story short, he thinks that this child's his baby, and that's not really.
Yeah, so how old is the child now?
She's about 8 months.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yes, pretty recent, very recent. I have known the guy that I've had the child with. I've known him for over 14 years. Went to high school with the guy and kind of just, ran into him and then kind of hit it off, I guess, and went from there. And we had been doing this for about 2.5 years now.
I have no judgment, just tea. This man says he's the father of this baby. People in the comments are telling him he needs a paternity test.
I never cared to get a DNA test, you guys, because I truly believed that this was my daughter and that it was just gonna cause so much drama. I had mentioned to London's mom before I would like to get DNA tests, and she would always trip on me.
For the question to be asked, can you take a DNA test? I mean, are you kidding me? What is this? What did we go down the aisle for? What did we say those vows for? If you're not gonna automatically know that this baby is yours.
You are not his father. I'm sorry. Oh, dude. Oh, Ron, get her. Yeah, calm down, baby. It's okay. We're all here. We're all here. I'm here with you.
Watch her get down to the floor.
sorry. Oh, dude. Oh, Ron, get her. Yeah, calm down, babe. It's okay. We're
All the eyes are on the woman who has cheated on her man and gone even a step further to have a child and lie to this man and somehow convince him that it's his, because otherwise he wouldn't be crying over here. And everybody, including the judge, who's usually pretty balanced, because I actually kind of like this judge. But they all go comforting her. And no one goes over to pat this man in the back and say, how are you doing?
I don't know if my husband is seeing tomorrow if he come to me asking for some DNA tests. We had these babies together. I've been supporting you. You've been supporting me. Now you want to come up and talk about swabbing cheeks? No. Absolutely not.
Part 2 was basically me opening up, was going to be me opening up this DNA test so that I could just rub it in everybody's faces so that they could just shut the up, stop trying to say that I don't look like my daughter, stop trying to say I'm not the dad, and I was supposed to, you know what I'm saying, just rubbing everybody's face. You don't think I should open it on camera?
That's up to you. Are you, wait, down.
I'll sit down and do it.
In here?
Yeah.
With us here?
Or should I just do it myself?
We are here to support you. We're here to support you.
But if you want to get on camera,
I'm gonna just open it up and I'm not gonna say nothing, and then how about sit in this little baby chair, maybe? No, that'll just be good superstition. You're trying to come around my shoulder so you can see.
I'm going outside. I'm scared. Come on, boys.
3.
Oh, you're already home, Dad?
I'm confused. I don't even know how to understand this. I don't even know how to read this.
You want me to read it to you?
Wait. What does probability of paternity mean?
The probability that you're your father.
Well, my next guest says that these tests are great for unsuspecting men everywhere and will actually stop women from cashing in on their offspring. Well, surprise, surprise, the man with that view is Mark Rudolph, and Lise Will disagrees. Mark, you can't actually believe this.
I absolutely believe it.
As far as this DNA stuff, I mean, what about, you're assuming that a lot of men want to know. I know a lot of men who really don't want to know.
That's not true. Daddy, you do not know a lot of men who do not want to know.
Okay, just like I just gave paternity fraud.
You don't know. You might know one man. You might know who left. Did somebody leave? You might know one man who tells you he doesn't want to know. Or you might know one man who really knows, but he's telling you he doesn't want to know. But you don't know a lot of men who don't want to know, Jan. That's just not true.
Well, I know several examples. I mean, I know more that, in my case, that didn't want to know than do want to know.
All right, Jan, let's go down this road, Jan. How many men do you know that have children and they do not want to know if the children is theirs or not? Since you know a lot, you said you know a lot. All right, you want to come up here and no. You gonna come up here and talk to an attorney, right? Fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this formally then.
You know, they just did a study in New Hampshire. They found 30% of men paying child support were not the biological fathers. And a recent study in Australia of 6,000 DNA tests showed that 25% of the women were lying. So this is an anti-extortion kit that men need.
Mark, for every woman who is quote-unquote caught by one of these paternity tests, there are about 1,000 guys out there who've cheated on her, and woman out there. And you know what, Mark? There isn't a test that you can tell whether a guy has been cheating, Mark.
You say you know a lot of men who have kids and they do not want to know if they're the father or not. How many? No, I don't want an example. I'm asking you a specific question. You say you know a lot of men who have kids and they don't want to know if they're the father or not.
How many men do you know? You say you know a lot. How many men have kids and they don't want to know if they're the fathers or not? How many?
Well, at least one now.
Well, all right, people in the chat. Who in the chat considers a lot to be one?
I'm just saying currently, I'm you want me to go in my mind.
No. You said
I wanted to give you examples.
Dan, no. You said men. Men is plural. Men means two or more.
Okay, I just thought of two. Like I said, I could sit here and think of a lot if I just sit here and think, but I was about to give you the examples, the real examples, but two. Now I just thought of two. I know of two.
Well, two is not a lot, is it, Jan?
Like you can on this. I mean, and look, Mark, historically, paternity tests have been used by women trying to corral guys, you know, into court to say, look, you get this tested because you are the father. And it's the guy saying, oh, no.
Lise, that's a red herring, and it's irrelevant, and you know it. The fact of the matter is the DNA test helps the man because the man wants to know that he's not one of these defrauded guys.
You are shaking.
I know.
I feel your nervousness from here. Are you okay?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Mr. Benning, you are not the father. You said earlier that if Robin was not your biological child, it causes you to doubt whether or not you truly are the biological father of Jermaine Benning Jr. The court wants to make sure when you leave here you have the whole truth. You are not the father.
What's up is why you've been lying to me for 11 years, telling me that DJ is my real son. Why you been lying to me?
What have I been lying about?
I got a DNA test done.
A DNA saying what?
Saying that he's not my son.
Let me see this DNA test.
You don't need to see it. I saw it.
Man cries to wife after DNA test proves he's not the dad.
See, listen to me. I will not settle anything with you. After all I have done for you. After all I have done for you. You have to sleep with another man. Don't bring your child in my house.
How DNA test gonna say?
How you gonna be lying to me for 11 years? Why would you do that to me?
Where's the lie?
The lie is you. You are the lie. You have been lying to me for 11 years, having me believe that my son that I've been raising for 11 years is not really my son. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, what can you say for yourself right now?
And the fact of the matter is women are having, 40% of children are being born out of wedlock today, and they're accusing men left and right. You're the father, you're the father. If women don't know who the father is, that means that they're... And that's what's happening today.
All right. Look, Mark, you ask any unmarried, single, divorced woman who's raising a child or more, and she will tell you that the cost, doctors, dentists, school, everything that comes with a child is way outweighed by anything that a non-custodial parent would chip in. The fact that you think that women are cashing in on kids is absolutely ridiculous. Single women out there have a hard time just even getting their kids through high school with the hope that maybe a few pennies will come in from dads who are reluctant to pay anything, who have to be dragged into court to take a paternity test, Mark.
Mr. Manser, you claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan. That's right. Manser versus Sear. As it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sear, Mr. Manser, you are not
God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why I did what I did.
But this is nothing I made up. The lab did it.
You made it all up.
No, I did not.
Well, those results apparently
I don't know
are made
any
up.
of those people on that form.
Oh, my God.
This is clearly the most shocking news we've ever gotten in this courtroom.
Oh, my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I didn't.
That is fraud.
Obviously, as you guys can see, I opened up that video, and I opened up the email and found out that you know what I'm saying, it says 0%, just as the alleged father, just Cook, is not the father in these cases, blah blah, and the names all little genes that you're not, of Lyndon Dior Cook. So when I found this out, I texted her mom and I said, come get your daughter. You know what I'm saying? I was mad. I'm gonna be straight up, I was super mad. I had Lyndon at the time, which is crazy. And she started like crying, calling me. I finally answered after like 10th call over and over. I really didn't want to talk to her because I was like I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. Like, I really have so much negative thoughts towards this girl. Like, I blocked her on everything. She's not having no type of words with me ever again.
What made you get a DNA test?
Because I went through your phone.
Why is it that that's always the question? Because I've done a couple of these videos where men find out that the child they've been raising up for years is not theirs. Why is the question always, why did you get a DNA test in the first time? Hold on, why is that a common question? We're gonna get back into this video, but why is it a common question to ask, why did you get the child tested? I want you guys to really think about how freaking crazy that is. How is that a question to be like, oh, how dare you go get the child tested? Every child should be tested if you ask me. I think a lot of men would agree with that as far as DNA testing, because these stories are more common than people think. But the fact that women are surprised that you would even dare go check, to me, is mind-blowing. They're always shocked in these type of videos. Let's keep watching.
Talking about me, laughing and bragging, telling your friends that I have no idea that he's really not my son. So I went and got a DNA test done. Like, you think I'm stupid or something?
Damn.
Like, how could you do this to me?
All right, so there's a part 2 to this I'm about to play right now. But did you guys hear what he just said? He said that she was bragging to her friends. This is some pure evil shit. She was bragging to her friends, saying things like, oh, he doesn't know that the child isn't his. Pure evil. All I'm going to say is hell's going to be packed. Let's keep listening.
But the crazy part to it is how I feel is my husband is okay if I have sex with another man. And that's even, like I said, crazier. But he was, I told him about it, but I didn't tell him that it was his child. I didn't tell him that I had done it more than once. I told him I did it once and that was it. And I know what I've done is completely wrong, but I definitely don't regret it. Like I said, my husband had the vasectomy and then he had the reversal, and we were trying for a long time to have a baby. And for this to happen, it was almost a blessing, but also terrible in a wrong sense, for sure.
Different father. I sure have, because I thought he was my son. Because you've been lying to me this whole time.
What are you talking about? Does it matter?
It does matter. What do you mean? That absolutely matters. Like, you don't see anything wrong with what you did? You don't see anything wrong with what you did? You've been lying to me. You've been sitting here lying to me for 11. Of course I love him, but I can't. But you guys can't stay. You can't stay here anymore.
What happened is she called me and she asked me. She said, "What happened?" And I said, "I opened up the DNA test, and I opened up the DNA test results, and this is not my daughter." And I said, "I love this little girl, but I need you to come get her." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And she just started crying. She just started like huffing and puffing and bawling, right? She asked me, what did she ask me? She said, "Tell me you're lying, tell me you're lying." I said, "No, I'm not lying. Like, what the like, how tell me you're not lying, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just lied to me about, for a whole year, you basically just lied to me about the biggest factor of my whole life, like the biggest thing that's happened to me in my whole life, and it was a straight lie."
So you clearly know this man. Obviously, you said you know him for 14 years. So you said this is what you've been doing now for 2.5 years. So this is something that you still kind of do, like you still kind of, are essentially having an affair in what seems to be an open relationship.
Somewhat, yes. My husband doesn't know about it continuing to happen, but last week, actually, this other guy, he confessed feelings, and I told him, I said, "I'm not interested in that. I'm married, I'm happy. I just look for a little side D, and that's about it. But that's all I want from that situation. And I mean, and I haven't heard from him since then because I told him how I felt about that.
So do you have like a plan, like moving forward, just kind of like, you know, when did you decide, like, I'm going to keep this a secret, I'm not going to say anything? Because I mean, you said that your husband is okay with you having sex with other people. And you know, obviously when people are engaging in that sort of thing, you know, accidental pregnancies happen. Do you think that he would be just absolutely crushed by this, or what is the reason why you want to hide it?
The reason I want to hide it is because I think he would be crushed by it. He makes jokes all the time about, oh my gosh, you know, it's so-and-so's baby, it's this and that, jokes around. But I think it would hurt his pride more than anything. And I don't know how to word it, I guess, to him is the hard part.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
I don't
about.
know. It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Yes.
It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
Yep.
It's not my problem. You can't stay here. You can't stay here. You
Yes,
can't
sir.
stay here. You can, I don't know.
Get her out.
I did my job. I did my job. I did my job as a dad. I did my job as a dad. You can't stay here anymore. Y'all gotta go. Both y'all can't stay anymore. No, I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Y'all can't stay here anymore. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta get y'all house. Y'all gotta go. I can't deal with it. I'm putting y'all out. Yes.
Who's gonna put out?
Wow.
Gave London like a big hugs and big kisses and shit. It's the hardest thing because it's like, it's almost like losing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is losing somebody, but I'm saying like, it's like almost like someone died. Like, it sucks. Like, it's like you can't do nothing about it. I can't be in her life even if I wanted to because I have no right. I'm not her dad. You know what I'm saying? And she's gonna have to grow up probably not even knowing who is. You know what I'm saying? Her mom probably not even gonna tell her to, because you know what I'm saying? Why would you?
Do you ever plan on telling him, like, even down the line, or is it a sort of now or never
I
thing?
think it's more of a now or never. I should, but I have yet to do it. But if it doesn't happen now, then eventually I think I will tell him, just because he deserves to know. He's a good guy and he is okay with everything that's been going on. So
Does the father know that it's his baby?
We don't know for a fact, but I've compared pictures to previous children he's had. He's had 2 other kids, and one of them looks so similar to the one that I have. And I asked him if I could do like a paternity test, like at home, and he was okay with that completely. But like I said, I haven't made contact with him since everything went down, and he said he had feelings. So
you don't know for like an absolute fact that this is actually not your husband's?
I say I don't know, but like I said, my husband had a reversal, and then we tried for over 3 years to have a baby, and it never worked. And then I was sleeping with this guy, and boom, baby.
Yeah, odds are you're probably right about that.
And they look very similar, so.
If you waited, how do you think he would react down the line? Say it was, years from now where time has passed and he's raising this child as his own, and then, you were to tell him that, because, I wouldn't say I'm on the brink of fatherhood, but I think it's something in the near future, and it's almost hard to comprehend getting that news after, so much time would have passed of raising this child of my own. Do you think that would, you said damage his pride, but do you think it would, hurt him beyond that?
I think it would hurt him beyond that a little bit if I told him later. If I told him now, it may not be as difficult for him to take that information.
She went from, I haven't messed with this dude for 1 year and 6 months to 2 years, to then she switched it to, she said an irrelevant and I forgot what was the other word, meetup with him in August that I would have never thought would even be a factor to that. To then now she has said like a day ago that she met up with him a week before she told me she was 5 weeks pregnant. And to me, it's like, and she just doesn't understand. It just doesn't make sense to her. To me, it's like, how in the do you expect me to believe that you met up with this dude a week? Even if you did, you probably just like, I don't know what where her head is at. I don't know if she's literally mentally what is going on with her, but I just know that she psychologically, I feel like, psyched herself out that I was a father, knowing that there was a possibility that somebody else could be the father.
I don't think there's any issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not. He might bring another child and say, oh, I had this out of our wedlock, you know.
Hold on, I had to make sure I heard what I heard right. So first she says no, and then she justifies it by saying, I don't think there's anything wrong with a man taking care of another man's child. And she's obviously trying to say, even if it was negative, it's okay. What the F? A lot of you guys, passport bros, want to travel the world. Notice this show is called The African Millennials. You know, you guys want to travel the world. And I always say, have fun. Do you. Travel if that's what you want to do. Right? Be careful bringing these women from these other countries back to the United States, because they will start to drink tea. Let's get back into it.
What are we gonna do? Or he's taking your money and paying child support to another family. You had no idea. So when we're just like jumping like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Hold on, it's already being done.
You could have been doing so many other things with your life. You could have been figuring your life out. I don't know, feeding pigeons. I don't know, doing anything. But you raising a kid that is not yours. I mean, if you had the option to know that was your kid and you wanted to raise that kid,
this man said feeding pigeons. He would rather feed pigeons than take care of another man's child. I get it, bro.
That's perfectly fine. A lot of people do that. But when you don't know, you're doing it out of the obligation or the mindset that this is my child. I'm going to raise him or her. I'm going to raise them up. I love them. This is my DNA. This is my blood. And then come to find out that's not your kid.
I mean, in all honesty, I think, you know, with government, you know, potentially passing a law to make DNA like a must, I think it works out for the best for everyone, in all honesty, because for a kid, I think the kid deserves to know who's their real mother and father. Mm-hmm. And if it's something that we start now, it's something that makes it an easier conversation down the road where it's not necessarily about trust, but it's just something that comes as a part of having a kid. I mean, you know, you've already tested the baby to make sure that it's healthy. Why not test to make sure you understand who the parent is?
Let's be very clear here. It does not work out for the women who want to maintain full productive control over their dualistic mating strategy, as in they want to entertain the men who they want short-term sexual relationships with, spread their legs for them, let them bust inside, impregnate them, and then want to find a responsible man simply because, hey, he'll be a better father. Even though ideally, that guy that doesn't want to settle down with me, I actually want his kids, right? It does not support and will not support their plan to trap a man, which a lot of these women do.
If my husband asked me to take a DNA test, best believe after the results come back positive, I will be getting my Mercedes-Benz. I'm going on vacation, all on your dime, shopping. If you want things to go back to being normal, you're spending.
If my husband asked me for a DNA test, one, I would be offended. I would feel disrespected.
Who gives an F? What the hell? Who's marrying these chicks and agreeing to these terms? You're getting that DNA test. What type of shit is this?
You know, I wouldn't care to ask him why. I would do it to shut him up. I would do it to prove that I'm not guilty, so I'm gonna do it. I don't think I would feel defensive, but at the same time, if you don't why you don't trust me? Like, it will cause an argument. I don't think our relationship would be the same at all.
I think you know, DNA should definitely be.
Bro, who cares? Do the test. These women are caught up in feelings. Oh yeah, I just don't feel. Do the test. It's not that big of a deal, right? It shouldn't matter, right? Then it doesn't matter, right?
Done at birth. Anytime after that, it definitely will bring into the trust issues, and it also eliminates the, I raised this kid for 5, 6, 7 years not knowing if the kid was mine or not.
If my husband asked me to have a DNA test for our children, whether it's 1 or 2, I will be filing for divorce, because if you have not seen, if I haven't given you any idea.
Who wants to bet that she does not have a husband?
Women.
And also wondering why she doesn't have a husband.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
What was this? The Avengers Modern Women Edition? All these women had all the wrong answers. Let's check out a few of these comments where the people have. Say first comment here says yes, and you have to ask why they're not. The question mark, why aren't they? Makes too much sense, but we know why they are not. Another comment here reads, the fact that a woman knows it's her child, the father, not always so. Another comment here from another man says, some people are telling on themselves, with the laughing emoji. Yep, very true. Another comment here reads, they can't seem to understand mandatory at birth. It means once the baby is born, they will get a DNA test. It doesn't even take the mother's time. Listen, I never thought I'd actually live to see this come to fruition. It looks like Tennessee has just passed a bill that will require mandatory DNA tests before signing the birth certificate. After the countless amount of false DNA reveals I've done here on my channel, I'm talking about men who have raised up kids and believe that those are their kids and have to face the brutal truth that it was all a scam, that they got scammed and the woman knew the whole time. Now he has to figure out how he's going to move forward. Guys, my question to you is, how many women do you think will start getting locked up on a monthly basis if this was to hit all states?
All right, so those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. It's going to be dramatic. And right now they're starting to also add in things like, maternity fraud is a crime and a punishable crime. So guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs, because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it. So they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure. And they're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime.
So I don't agree with a lot that they do in politics, but I agree with this one. The hustle is over. The scams are done in the state of Tennessee. And I know some of y'all feel like, well, why should we have to do all of this? They should trust me, because y'all be lying. The women be lying. And if you know that this is his baby without a shadow of a doubt, husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, it don't matter who it is. Let them go on and get that paternity test, sis. If you on the up and up, it shouldn't bother you. And for all of those women out there faking pregnancy to scam men, ooh, y'all big mad now, ain't you?
All right. As always, we're going to check out some of these comments, see what the people have to say. First comment here says, children have the right to know who their biological father is. And someone responded back and says, some of these 304s don't even know who the father is. We should know by now, based on shows like Jerry and Maury, even though a lot of those are staged, some of that stuff is very real. We should know that a lot of these chicks are doing so much out here in the streets. When I say doing so much, I mean they're entertaining, allowing other men to enter them raw. Multitudes of men, to the point where they don't even know who the father of that child is. This will pose another problem that a lot of these states probably try to avoid, which is why they don't want this bill passed. It's like, what do you do now? Okay, he's not the father. She's crying and running to the back of the hospital, like, Jerry Springer style. And what do you do at this point? Well, now they got to figure out who the father of the kids are. They don't want to do that shit. They don't want to go on an investigation and find pookies. And who wants to go on a pookie scavenger hunt out here to find fathers of very highly educated women who apparently can make great decisions, unless if it has to do with procreating and choosing who's going to carry their bloodline.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
They don't want to do that. So I'm curious to know, what's the solution to that? No, they're going to have Pookie bounty hunters out here. I don't know. Comment down below. Comment down below. Another comment here says, this should have been a thing a long time ago. Love it. Another commenter here added, I agree. That should have been done everywhere. Every city, every state, every hospital. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. These women will be moving a lot different. You know, imagine you'd be moving a little bit different out here if you know you can't just pin it on the guy that you're with, then there's jail time coming behind that. Another comment here says, I think every state should have this law. Another person here says, I've been on the wrong end of this, paid over $20K in child support in a year. Damn. She asked for more, never satisfied. DNA showed I wasn't the father. Mercy. Somebody else here, a woman says, my husband asked me to do one. It was no problem because I know I never strayed. Good for this chick, man. Good. I think every woman should just do one if her husband asks, which you should just for the peace of mind, you know, because when you drink too much coffee, there's too many thoughts going through your head. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Her comment goes on to say, I believe they should be doing this in all states. Here, somebody else says, I always thought they should automatically make this a thing for all births, because why not? Here's another person that says, bring this to Cali. Come on, bro. These chicks over here are not ready for this. As always, I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.